Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome everyone to this emergency call meeting for Board of Commissioners. I call this meeting to order, and this is emergency call meeting is in order now, and we would like to discuss the contract for the interim town manager. The floor is open for the board. Any comments? Questions, discussion.
I do have a few things just to mention.
Go right ahead.
I was concerned about the process that our board used to do this. Some of us didn't know about it, and how they went about identifying the person. How have they met him before? When did they first meet him? And why they didn't share it with the entire board?
Well, Ms. Clark.
Excuse me.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Were you done? I'm so sorry.
I got to wait and see if she's finished.
My apologies.
Continue.
That's really it. I just didn't like the process.
Mr. Baxter?
I can say that I did not meet with this applicant in person, and I believe that you've done a manager search before, Commissioner Clark, and so you should be familiar with the process that the league actually sends an interim applicant. But I know it's been a while, so maybe that's just something that you lost your familiarity with. But
When you say league, mention
the applicant, Ty?
the North Carolina League.
I'm so sorry?
When you say league, mention it's the North Carolina
Oh, the North Carolina League of
Municipalities.
Municipalities. Yes, my apologies.
Clarity.
Going over the contract, there's a couple of open-ended areas that I'd just like to perhaps have a discussion about. And my concern is number 6, the indemnification. It's on the second page.
We don't have a copy of the contract.
Wasn't this what we got?
Do you need me to make copies? Because I did not get a copy of that to make for the rest of the board.
Yes, please.
Can we take a
We do
5-minute
not
recess?
have a copy either.
We don't have
Take a 5-minute recess and I'll make copies, please.
5 minutes. Commissioner Baxter?
Yes, so I would just like to make sure that the pre-audit certificate can be signed, knowing that there is an indemnification clause number 6 in the contract.
I'm sorry. What was that? I was looking at the contract.
Oh, that's okay. I just wanted to make sure that our CFO would be able to sign the pre-audit certificate with the indemnification clause in the contract.
Well, I would prefer to eliminate the indemnification clause, just because by its very nature, an indemnity is an open-ended obligation, which means that it doesn't lend itself to pre-audit. The whole purpose of pre-audit is that you're able to identify what the cost will be of any particular commitment. And since you can't identify the full extent of an indemnification until it happens, there's a challenge to the pre-audit on it. So my preference would be to eliminate the indemnification clause altogether. Plus, there's additional provisions in that indemnification clause that I'm just not sure about. It also obligates the town to carry certain types of insurance, and I have no idea if we've got that insurance or not. But if the manager company, City Development Advisors LLC, is willing to accept that edit, and many vendors do, many vendors accept the elimination of indemnity, then we could go forward with it. And since we have one of the principals of the manager here, they could make that decision. In the alternative, we could work through that language, attorney to attorney, to try and refine it so that the town's risk is less and that we could get it up to pre-audit muster.
Okay, thank you so very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions, comments from the board? Commissioner Davis?
None at this time.
Commissioner Clark?
None at this time.
Commissioner Harrison? Commissioner Miles?
No comment.
Commissioner Baxter?
Well, I'd just like to get confirmation that striking that clause would be amenable and that we can move forward.
I think we can ask the prospective interim mayor if that's possible.
Come to that.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioner. I would actually like to have maybe our attorney review that first, so I'm not just accepting something that I am not totally comfortable with on behalf of the company. So I wish I'd known that earlier.
Is that something that you can make a phone call and have a conversation with if we were to take a short recess?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. Would 15 or 20 minutes give you enough time to make that phone call?
Yeah, probably less so, maybe 10 minutes or so.
10 minutes? Okay, so Mayor, may I request a 10-minute recess or attorney?
Would the board authorize me to go over that provision with Mr. Jayoba and see if we can come to an agreement on it right here?
Okay.
And I think that there are some minor things that we can do that would fix the problem and allow us to do it. I've gone through these exercises before with some of our vendors, for example, Wake County, where we've worked out some language that's reasonable, and we can do that. If you don't mind.
Yeah, I would say that I know this came together rather quickly, so I only also just saw this contract today as well. I know that,
Fine.
So.
If you're willing to take the time to speak with our attorney?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Thank you.
May we retire to a room there and go over it?
Call for recess.
10-minute?
Yeah, that'll do it. What time you got now? 6:15?
Yeah.
No later than 6:25.
10-minute recess.
If it please the board, I'll be happy to read into the record the changes that Mr. Jayoba found acceptable and that, in my professional opinion, are also acceptable to protect the town. If we go to page 2, at the bottom of the page, section 6, I will draw your attention to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the fifth line after the word liability insurance. Strike the language that begins or risk pool coverage. Strike it all the way through to the end of that phrase where it ends harmless and indemnification, semicolon. That gets struck. So the language ends at liability insurance. And right after the words liability insurance, insert the words, in such amounts as the town deems reasonable, semicolon. The next change is also in section 6, but on the next page, the third page. At the end of the last sentence, the sentence begins, this indemnification shall extend, and it keeps going, and the end of the sentence is an expiration of this agreement, period. Take the period away, substitute a comma, and add the following language, for a period of not more than 12 months after the date of termination of employment. Period. And that being read into the record, Mr. Jayoba, one more chance. Are you satisfied with those changes?
Yes, thank you for working with me on that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions from the board? Is there a motion to approve the contract for the interim town manager, Mr. Giobi?
I make a motion to approve the agreement for employment between the town of Zebulon and Mr. Jayoba as amended.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Oh, one moment.
Oh,
Perhaps I didn't do that correctly.
The agreement here, if you'll look at page 2, the clerk brought to my attention the term of the agreement. And the manager shall serve as interim town manager until a permanent town manager commences work or until July 1st, 2024, whichever is earlier. That is a relatively short time period. In other words, less than a month. Is the town okay with that?
We can change, we can extend it out because you can always change it. Is that correct? We can always.
Yeah, we can extend it. We can do whatever we want to, but that's what the initial term of this is until July the 1st.
So at July 1, what would take place?
Then this contract would no longer be in effect, and we'd have to either enter into a new contract, or either party at that point would have the opportunity to discontinue the relationship.
Let's extend it.
Could we extend that, please?
That was specifically at my request, but if you also look at, I think it's section 8D, it talks about having to give about 5 days, I think, a week or so, if you're going to, go our separate ways. I just believe that this first 30 days allows a smooth transition, considering that this has rather come up quickly. And I do not want to give a sense that I'm going to be here permanently, but we'll be very actively assisting the town in securing an assistant town manager within the next 30 days, while at the same time working to get a permanent town manager in place.
So you would prefer what right now is going to be less than a month term to the contract, and then we can extend it?
The pleasure of council, of the commission.
All right. Okay. All right. That's fine.
Yeah, I think that that's correct interpretation. It anticipates that the board will enter into negotiations as you approach the end of the term.
Any other discussion?
And one other thing I need to bring up also is the agreement is actually between the town and city development advisors that I represent. And so I think that's how the motion should go. I'll be on your first page.
So should we,
So may I have the opportunity to amend my motion?
yes,
Okay. I make a motion to approve the agreement between the Town of Zebulon and City Development Advisors as amended.
Are you an authorized officer,
Yes.
Mr. Gilda?
Yes, sir.
And how would you sign it in your capacity?
I will sign this as a principal.
Okay,
Yes.
fair enough.
Okay.
It's all good.
we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion? Roll vote. Commissioner Davis?
Favor.
Commissioner Clark?
Favor.
Commissioner Harrison?
Favor.
Commissioner Miles?
Favor.
Commissioner Baxter?
Favor.
Motion passes.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
No further business. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor? Motion adjourn.